I arrived home with no warning, expecting familiarity, not suspicion. My cab slowed near the driveway, yet nothing resembled the place I left. The curtains were shut tight. My spare key suddenly refused to turn. A heavy smell of fresh paint drifted through the gaps. From inside came drilling noises, deep and unsettling, echoing through walls that had never needed repairs. My bathroom door stood wide open, exposing missing fixtures, bare pipes, and shattered tiles. My kitchen cupboards were empty, appliances gone, and the counters stripped completely. It wasn't renovation. It looked like erasure. Someone was dismantling my life piece by piece, preparing my home for an existence that didn't include me. I felt intruded, unwelcome, and displaced immediately. A folder sat perfectly centered on the kitchen table, as though placed by someone expecting my eyes to land there first. My name appeared boldly on the cover. Inside were agreements authorizing demolition, transfers from my account, and signatures resembling mine with alarming accuracy. Dates matched my trip. Blueprints showed redesigned spaces, a private suite replacing my bathroom, and a shared kitchen for occupants I had never heard of. My handwriting appeared on notes approving costs and timelines, yet I had never touched a pen. Everything suggested I willingly surrendered control. At the bottom of multiple documents, another typed name accompanied mine, my spouse. The certainty hit me hard. This paperwork wasn't forged randomly. It documented the careful removal of my authority. A man I had never seen emerged confidently from the hallway, carrying tools like someone comfortable in a place he believed was his domain. He greeted me by name without hesitation and complained about my early return, as though I had disrupted an arrangement we supposedly discussed. He described decisions I allegedly approved, including temporary relocation, while referencing a hotel near the airport. He knew personal details I never shared. When I questioned his source, he smirked and shrugged, mentioning my spouse as if that explanation satisfied everything. According to him, I was out of the way, and he had deadlines to respect. Hearing him speak stripped away any denial I held. Someone had rewritten my narrative without permission. A freshly painted door at the end of the hallway unsettled me immediately. Its lock was new, the frame pristine. The contractor blocked my path, insisting the room was unsafe and unfinished. His nervous tone betrayed more than caution. I forced the door open. Inside stood untouched luggage, tailored clothing, expensive shoes, and framed photographs featuring strangers posed comfortably in my house. A bed sat neatly prepared, 2 pillows arranged deliberately, suggesting an upcoming arrival. Nothing belonged to me. The room felt organized for a life already envisioned. As I scanned the items, I realized the renovations weren't modernization plans. They were preparations for a replacement. Someone intended to occupy my space while quietly pushing me into oblivion. Outside, Mrs. Dalton waved with hesitation, attempting politeness while hiding unease. She congratulated me for finally letting go of the property, a statement that struck harder than any insult. She spoke of gatherings hosted by my spouse, showcasing renovation plans, and announcing that I was moving abroad. Neighbors shared stories about farewell drinks I supposedly missed and decisions I allegedly made. They praised my spouse's resilience for handling everything alone. I listened silently, realizing the neighborhood believed I willingly disappeared. My absence wasn't accidental. It had been explained, rehearsed, and accepted. They didn't replace me physically. They replaced my identity, leaving me present in body but erased in every narrative surrounding my home. The bank visit delivered a deeper shock than the demolished walls. My joint account was almost empty, funds moved into a trust established without my knowledge. Each transaction carried electronic authorization bearing my digital signature. The banker congratulated me on a fresh start and mentioned my spouse proudly explained my decision to detach from past responsibilities. He believed I had chosen a new identity, one without connections or assets. When I challenged him, he lowered his voice and hinted that everything had been planned smoothly. My financial life had been dismantled with precision. I hadn't lost money accidentally. I had been systematically removed from my own existence, reclassified as someone no longer entitled to anything I built. I avoided emotional reactions. Instead, I documented every inconsistency. Contractors' admitted instructions came exclusively from my spouse. Neighbors confirmed speeches about my departure. The bank verified unauthorized signatures. A forensic analyst compared handwriting samples and declared them fraudulent. Armed with evidence, I confronted my spouse calmly. Their confidence evaporated instantly. They denied, stuttered, and blamed miscommunication. Yet every recorded fact contradicted their excuses. My spouse hadn't planned a separation. They planned my erasure. I was meant to return to nothing, forced to accept a life already rewritten. They never expected me to come back early, interrupt their timeline, and expose every hidden step intended to remove me permanently from the place I created and funded. Legal proceedings were swift. My spouse arrived with visible panic, clutching explanations that collapsed under documented truth. Lawyers presented forged signatures, unauthorized transfers, and testimonies. The judge noted the deliberate nature of every action. Sentencing was decisive. Assets were frozen, accounts returned, and full ownership of the property awarded to me. My spouse was left facing consequences they once reserved for me. Weeks later, standing in my restored house, I understood the gravity of what almost occurred. I didn't lose a relationship. I escaped an architected disappearance. The house wasn't under renovation. It was under reconstruction for another version of my life, without me included. My unexpected return shattered their design completely.